Hi everyone, welcome to my video podcast. This is Teresa and you're watching Chats with T. Hi everyone, today we're going to be doing a book review, and the book we're going to be reviewing is My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. So we're going to start with talking about Oyinkan Braithwaite and who is she? What does she do? Oh, she's a writer. She's a writer. First, we're going to start by learning about who our writer is. She's a Nigerian. She schooled in Kingston University, and she has worked as an editor, and she has work experience basically in her field. She studied creative writing and law, so this is basically her field. This is the first book that I'm reading of her. I don't know how many other books that she has written, but this was an excellent book to start with. To be fair, almost every book that I'll review will be an excellent book, except I go out of my way to read a boring book. What are the chances though? What are the chances? Anyways, this is how our book reviews are going to work. We're going to talk about the writer, then we're going to do a summary. We'll introduce the characters. I might have some commentary in there about like different characters, but basically it's just summary, introduce the characters, tell you about the book, and then we're going to do our commentary later, and then we would introduce the next book that we're going to read together, and hopefully I would review again. My Sister the Serial Killer is basically about, when you're saying My Sister the Serial Killer, the person that's talking is not really the serial killer, is the sister, obviously. So we have Korede being the sister to the serial killer, and we have Ayola, the actual serial killer. So we start the book with a crime scene. Ayola has called Korede to come and help her as she has killed somebody. Now, as a Nigerian, you don't really see a lot of Nigerian books that talk about murder immediately. Like most Nigerian books that I've read, like we're thinking Chimamanda books of those likes, are about like our Nigerian society as it is now, but it's still fiction, but it has a lot of our society now. But this book like brings that new scene that we're like, murder is so intriguing, right? So Ayola is this beautiful girl in the book. She's very beautiful. She's a girl that she's never lacking male attention, basically. So she's jumping from one relationship to another, but she's lethal. She's a serial killer. Her sister Korede, she is the opposite. In the book she is ugly. Basically that is very morbid to just say about somebody that they are ugly. But Korede is ugly and she doesn't get a lot of male attention, but she has some form of OCD. It's undiagnosed, but she is about cleanliness and organization. So Ayola is the younger sister and Korede is the elder sister, so she fits that role. Oh, when the younger sister is in trouble, the elder sister comes to the rescue, that sort of thing. So we see time and time again, Ayola would murder and Korede would clean up. So it's the fine girl just goes about living the life, and then the ugly big sister is cleaning after her, making sure that she's fine and everything. But let's start with the first murder. The first murder we were introduced to was Femi Durand. So Ayola is in a relationship with Femi, and Femi is good to Ayola. Like, imagine like a Nigerian fine girl just going about the streets and you have a boyfriend. Like the love is sweet, it's a beautiful relationship. Well, according to the book anyways, they don't focus so much about the relationship, but we guess that the love is sweet and everything is going well. But Ayola kills him, and we see everything from Korede's point of view. Korede is the person that carries out of her head in a way. She goes in, she's cleaning, she's caring for Ayola because Ayola is not doing anything. She's just matching a fine girl, she has not, what is her business? She has murdered, but what is her business really? She's carefree, she's living her life. While Corridor is doing the cleanup, Corridor is having the anxiety. Imagine they have to get the body out. And Corridor is thinking like, oh, what would police look for? This and this and that. But they managed to get the body out in some kind of sleeping bag, and they had the elevator. Can you imagine a woman is running to catch up with the elevator and telling them to hold the elevator for them. And Ayola really wants to hold the elevator. They have a dead body. And Ayola wants to hold the elevator for this woman to enter. It's Corridor that is like, come on. Like, so it already sets into place, like, we already know the characters, like who Ayola is and who Corridor is. Anyways, they get the body into the car, and then they go and drop it on Third Mainland Bridge. They drop it into the river from Third Mainland Bridge, and that was it. They have gotten away with murder in a sense. And then like Oyinkan like takes us through the plot of the previous murders about Corridor and Ayola, and the other characters enter. So at this point, I feel like let's introduce their parents. We have their mother and their father. I don't remember if they had names in the books. I don't think they had names in the books. They were just mother and father. They were in the typical Nigerian family. So the father was the god of the house. And he was not the loving God, He was not the God that, okay, yes, he's the ultimate person in the house, but other people have a say. No, he was an authoritarian. Everything he did was perfect, and he wanted everybody to follow his rules. And their mother was a typical Nigerian woman that holds out her marriage than confront her man. So she knows her place as a woman in Nigerian society, and she's playing that part. She's like, oh, I will protect my children, but if my man is beating me and my man is beating my children, and what can I do? She's just there. Her father does not favoritize anybody. He beats however he sees fit. If you've done something that he doesn't like, he will beat you. But of course, their friends, his siblings, the father's siblings, his friends, they just see him as a loving man, a rich middle class-ish, but rich to compared to his family, a rich breadwinner that is taking care of his wife and his children. Fine and good. We see the father's cunningness in this situation where there is a chief, and the chief comes to the house, and there's a myth about this chief with his walking stick staff, that if he points it at any girl, that girl will become his wife. So of course, when a big man comes and he's seeing his fellow big man friend, at some point the children will be called to like greet the big man. So Ayola and Corridor were called down and they greeted him. And this man's staff, as you can imagine, the chief staff, is decorated, is shining, is beautiful. Ayola, being a spoiled brat, wants to go and touch it. In the midst of touching it, the chief pays attention to Ayola, and Ayola is a beautiful young girl. Granted, Ayola is too young to be a beautiful young girl. She is too young to be a young woman. She is just too young for anything. But of course, this chief points his staff at her, but Corridor, being the big sister, is trying to protect Ayola, and the father sees this interaction between the chief, Ayola, and Corridor, and we read this, but with our visual mind, you can see the clock chiming in the father's head. He doesn't care about anybody, not Ayola, not Corridor. He's selfish, and he's seeing that this is chief big man is interested in his daughter. So we know at some point that he's going to try and link them up. He's willing to sell Ayola. Let's talk more about Femi. Femi is not just the oh, my parents are in the village, but I came to Lagos to make it type boy. That, oh, I came to Lagos to make it, and then I found a beautiful girl, and now I'm dead. Like, nobody in that sense, nobody will go looking after that boy. Femi is actually on par with Korede and Ariola's family with regards to status. His parents have money. I'm sure his parents have money, that sort of thing, but not like big man, but big enough that the parents will call police. Anyways, Ayola being Ayola during this time, she posts on social media that, oh, she was the last person to see Femi. Femi is her boyfriend. He went out and he did not come back. That was the summary of it all. But obviously, police are looking to it behind the scene. Now, Korede has a diary that she writes down the killers. Oh, rather, the killed, the people that have been murdered. So we have Femi. Femi is number 3. Peter is number 2, and Somto is number 1. One thing, Peter, let's start with Peter. My note that I wrote beside Peter was he was one of the characters that I felt were overlooked. But good thing what Oyinkan did for us, like, I didn't feel any character was like just sidelined. She kind of brought life to the character, all of them, and as I introduced them to you, you would see what I mean. Peter was the second person to be murdered, and I don't remember anything about him. Somto was the first person to be murdered. Somto was in university and he used to smoke. So Korede recalls Ayola just calling her and said, I killed him. And Korede runs into the scene and Ayola has killed this boy. So she just pours kerosene everywhere, or a flammable substance rather, everywhere, sets it on fire, and that was it. Some other buildings were affected, some other rooms were affected, but Somto was a smoker. And once the university got wind of the fact that he was a smoker, your house got burnt. Like, zero police work. We are in Nigeria, I guess. So that is a nurse, and she goes to work. She is excited. Did I say excited? I don't actually feel like Korede. She was not the person. She was too much of a big sister Nigerian adult to feel excitement. I don't know how to put that. I don't know if that makes sense. So let's say she was happy. She was content with her job. She had she was like a common nurse. She had status amongst other nurses. There are 2 characters from the hospital that also played a role in the whole plot in My Sister the Serial Killer, and that was Tade and Muta. Muta was a patient that was in coma, and all things considered, he was not going to come out of coma, but nobody was making the decision for him to be pulled out from life support, I'm guessing. And Korede used to go to Muta to confide in him about everything that happens in her life. So the murders that happen, how she protects Korede, everything, like, she tells him in an unbiased way. So imagine the way you think to yourself. Let's say you have a friend and sometimes they do something stupid, you'd be like, that friend is stupid, but you don't say it out loud. Like, you never voice it. There are some things that are just your thoughts and your thoughts alone. You don't voice it except you have that one confidence that you feel like voicing it. And even that one confidence, sometimes some things you don't tell them. But Muta was somebody that was unconscious and will forever be unconscious so far as Korede knows. So he was like her rant partner. She would just go there and unload everything to him. And she cares for him. She would clean him, like rub his feet, gives him massage like somebody that is coma, make sure that his muscles are still being active. She would do all that, but she would tell him about everything. And then we have Tade. Aha. Tade is a fine boy. He's a fine doctor. He's not a nurse. He's a fine doctor. Everybody likes him. Patients, children. Tade can sing. Tade is fine. He's a doctor, so he's kind of successful. Korede likes him. Of course, Korede likes him. At the moment I found out Korede likes him, I was like, hey, why? Why? Because we kind of all know. We kind of all know. It's not going to work out. We all know it's not going to work out. Anyways, another interesting bit that broke my heart between in Korede's experience in life was Korede went to school, obviously, at some point in her life, primary school, and she was tagged as ugly. She was bullied for being ugly. Do you know what I mean? The fact that you're ugly was always coming up. The fact that Korede was ugly was always coming up. So when Ayola was old enough to now come into primary school, Korede was equipped. She was ready to be the big sister. She was ready for Ayola to come and be bullied and cry on her shoulders. Like, she cannot stop the bullying, but she was ready to be the big sister that would be like, it's fine, everything is all right. But no, that didn't happen. Ayola came to school and she was pretty. Boys in Korede's class liked Ayola. You can imagine, like, that was the point, I think, in the book that Oyinkan pointed to, was that Korede realized she was ugly. When you're growing up, you don't really know so much. You're just like, this is this is that. Table is table, chair is chair. Touch is touch, fan is fan, phone is phone. You don't, there's so much your curiosity can get you. There's so much knowledge that you can get. So Korede does not realize she's ugly up until this point, which is very, very sad, if you ask me, that she came to this realization this way. I felt for her. But anyways, let's just get back to the plot. Ayola, workplace, Tade. At some point, Korede, workplace, Tade. At some juicy point, Ayola decides that she wants to visit Korede in the office. Why? Ayola, why? She could not just rest. You've murdered somebody, 3 people now. And we find in this book that 3 people make a serial killer. So Ayola is a serial killer, a whole lot serial killer. Anyways, Ayola decides, a chicken little leg, that she would come to the hospital. And as we know what's going to happen. Ayola comes to the hospital. Boom, 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 boom. Korede is somewhere. Somebody comes to her and says, Korede, you did not tell me that you have a sister. Just imagine nurses just coming. Korede, you did not tell me you have a sister. Your sister is there to see you. And obviously, Korede, being a somewhat smart girl, is like, damn, I am kind of getting closer to Tade. She's not. She's buying him, bringing him lunch, cooking him lunch and everything, but she's not getting closer. But in her brain, obviously, I'm getting closer to Tade. I'm my beautiful sister that all the men love her, and she goes about killing them, has come to see me. So she wants to get Ayola out of that hospital. But Ayola is like, no, I came to see you at work now. I thought we'll go out for lunch. Anyways, Tade comes out of his office. Doom, 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 doom. He sees Ayola. We all know. There's love in the air. Ayola also sees Tade. Ayola has not heard about Tade because obviously Korede's role is to support Ayola. She doesn't have a life of her own as far as Ayola is concerned. Ayola is a bit selfish. But in a way, Korede does not open up. Korede has accepted her role as a big sister, and accepted that this is all she will do in life. Anyways, Ayola doesn't know of Tade, and Tade does not know of Ayola, obviously. But they meet. Atade is looking at Ayola. Imagine looking at Ayola and asking Korede. He's looking at Ayola and asking Korede, "Oh, Korede, you didn't tell me you have a sister." Shut up. Of course she didn't tell you. Do you want to die? Do you want to die? Anyways, Tade sees Ayola and there's love in the air. They start dating. Korede is scared. Korede is anxious. She even comforts Ayola at some point, like, don't mess with him, don't do this. But in a very Korede way, she didn't come out and say, I like him. She was just like, make sure you're doing the right thing, yada yada yada. At some point, Korede goes to Tade and tells him, like, guy, you are going to die. Not like that. But she goes to him and she tells him, like, what is going on. Like, Tade, Ayola is not good for him. She's a killer. She tells him, mind you, Korede is the big sister. She's the overprotector. But she actually tells Tade that Ayola is a killer. But who do you believe? The ugly sister is telling the fine bobo that she liked that her fine sister is a killer. Of course nobody will believe her. Of course. Korede gets that dreadful call again. But it's not from Ayola, it's from Tade. Tade is calling Korede, telling her, she tried to kill me! She tried to kill me! Anyways, Korede goes to Tade's house and sees Ayola there. Ayola is injured. Korede is, I think, Tade is a bit injured, I think, too. But her younger sister, the girl that she has vowed to protect personally, is injured. So her priority is Ayola. She takes Ayola to the hospital. All the nurses in the hospital like, your fine sister, what happened to her? Nobody is thinking this is a murderer that has finally gotten what she deserves. Nobody is thinking that you just cheat this fine girl. Who did this to her? The police come. They speak to Ayola. Ayola blames everything on Tade. Tade says the truth about everything to the police. And then the police have to question Korede, obviously. Now, they bring the situation to Korede, like, this is what Tade has said. And Korede said something that was like, that really showed what our society is, like, that beautiful good, ugly bad. She was like, have you seen Ayola? She's a beautiful girl that has been injured. How would that small, petite, beautiful, fair girl want to hurt Tade? No. So even in the police eyes, like, they already know, they've already, like, judged that Tade is the guilty party. So Tade is going to go to prison. And Ayola, the serial killer, is going to be scot-free. Korede actually said something. She said a quote, Ayola needs me. She needs me more than I need untainted hands. Wow. Anyways, this is how the story ends. The story ends with Korede being at home. There's a knock on the door and she goes downstairs to see who it is. And it's a man. Another man for Ayola. And Ayola says, man, meet my sister, Korede. Korede, meet man. Fill in the blanks. The cycle continues. Ayola would go on to murder, Korede would go on to clean, and there will be nothing like justice. So we kind of did commentary and summary all in one. So let's go to the questions that I've prepared. Do you pity Korede? Just comment down below if you pity Korede. I think I did. um life, I feel like, gives you some things and you have to do with it whatever you feel like. But life just always just threw at Corey bad things, not so bad. Like, I can even, if my younger sister calls me like, oh, she has killed somebody, I don't know what I would do. To be perfectly honest, I'll try to cover it up, but it's not to not be that simple. Do you know what I mean? It should not be that simple. So some sense I pity Corey, but in some other sense I'm like, why couldn't you just at some point just say no? Because people are dying because of you. In a sense, people are dying because of Koide. The fact that she's keeping quiet means more men die. It's just that simple. And why would you? Because Koide is not at peace with herself in a weird way. She doesn't like what she has become, but she's still doing that because Ayola needs her more than she needs untainted hands, as she has told us, basically. Okay. This was an interesting thing for me. If you've read the book, do you think that the mom suspected things? Like, do you think the mom knew that there is something wrong with Ayola? There's something wrong with this, my daughter. Why is she moving from man to man? Why is one boyfriend dying like Tade, like these situations, like, why is that happening? I don't know. I don't know if the mom ever suspected, but part of me feels like if she did, she would just cover it up because she knows Ayola is her beautiful daughter and she wants her to get married. Her second purpose is to make sure that her daughter is not a failure and also marries. So even if she finds out that Ayola is a murderer, I feel like she would not do anything about it. And then another thing. Do you think Ayola is to be blamed? Obviously, she's the murderer. But if you've read the book and you've seen the relationship between the father and the family, you would kind of see, like, the father he brought the violence into their force. Like, his ruthlessness, Ayola kind of inherited in a way. Maybe she was acting out as her own way of, oh, I have been beaten, I've been bruised, it's time to go into the world and bruise other people. So I was like, can she have like total blame? Is she a bad person inherently? She's just going about killing, or is like this a reaction of like being abused? But then at the same time, look at Koide. She was also abused, but she's not killing. Granted, she's claiming murders, but she's not killing. Do you know what I mean? Anyways, we are going to end this book review with a comment from the back of the book. Disturbing, sly, and delicious. Braithwaite's novel compels us to consider the limits of loyalty and the insidious weight of silence. And this comment was by Ayobami Adebayo, and this person is the author of Stay With Me, which is going to be the next book we are going to be reviewing. I just thought it was very nice that, like, the next book we're going to be reviewing, and the author had a comment for this book. But anyways, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Any feedback would be more than helpful. This is my first book review. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. And that is Tade and Muta. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I'm sorry.